Hi, I'm James Lynch. I'm the Executive Director of the Art Center Highland Park, and this is our series called Talking With. Today we are talking with somebody that I've come to know over the past few years, and I'm a big fan of as well, Jeff Libman. Jeff, would you jump in and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Yeah, I met you, James, a few years ago making music somewhere in Highland Park. And in one sense, I'm a singer and a songwriter. I grew up in Highland Park, actually. I live in Evanston now. I also teach at the City Colleges of Chicago. I do not teach music. I teach English as a second language and writing to immigrants and refugees who are planning to start college and need extra work on their academic English skills. Um, I'm a writer and publisher of a book called An Immigrant Class, which is a collection of oral histories and photographs of recent immigrants and refugees to Chicago. Prior to that, I ran the resettlement of Tibetan refugees in Chicago and used to work for public television in New York City, making documentary films for them. So I bring all that experience to my songwriting today.
I knew some of that, but not all of that. So I'm once again impressed. The reason why we're talking today is you are doing a concert, a benefit concert for the Arts Center in 2 weeks' time. And I wanted to ask a little bit about it because I was at a concert of yours last night. And the songs that you were playing, all but one or two were all yours. So tell me a little bit about your music, the songs you write, and that process, please.
Well, I joke sometimes that, sometimes we cover songs so that people stay around because they know what they're listening to. Yeah, I mean, the songwriting process it's super hard to explain. It's like, asking any creator how or why they're creating what they create. Part of it is inspired, part of it is hard work, part of it is trying to capture the essence of a feeling, the essence of a situation, trying to find human themes that connect to listeners, or in the case of visual artists, people's eyes, and connect that to their humanity. So I've been writing songs for 25 years or more. I do a variety of styles of things. I do some old 70s soul sounding stuff. I do some easy listening stuff. I do a couple country things. I do a variety of songs based on what the song is looking for. And we have a great time. I always say that if we're up there performing and not having a good time, then we should just close it down and go home. Because it's a privilege and an honor to be able to craft music and to have people interested in listening. So to me, it's a total joy, um, and we get a blast out of making music for people and seeing them connect to it. Because ultimately, that's it. People sometimes ask me, "Well, what is that song about?" And I don't like to be flippant about it, but often my answer wants to be, "Well, what does it feel like to you?" That's what it's about, right? I can talk about inspiration and other things, but how do you feel when you're listening to the lyric or the rhythm or melody, or where does that take you? So in some ways, it's like any kind of creation. You make something and you put it out there, and then it becomes what it's going to become for the person who's experiencing it, right? It's no longer mine after that, really. It's yours based on how you respond to it. But we have a good time making fun music. We make music that's sometimes political. Sometimes I say difficult to write, difficult to perform, sometimes difficult to listen to. But my goal is to make something that makes you feel, not makes you feel a certain way. I think the humanities and the arts are there to connect to that part of our soul that we frequently don't have a lot of time to experience because we're busy with the routine of life and the obligations and the responsibilities, and we lose track of that part of our humanity. So this is a break from the rest of life to say, okay, I've got an hour and a half here to listen to some music and let a different part of my being be lit up in some way. for better or for worse. You like it, you don't. You feel joy, you feel sadness. It connects to an experience you've had. That's what we're here to do, I think.
Yeah, I think when you hear a singer-songwriter, sometimes people are like, "Well, I don't know their songs, so they're not familiar to me." So, it takes a while. But honestly, I was at it last night, and I never had that. Oh, I've never heard this song before thing, because it was, the music was just, just took you right in, that sort of thing. But you just made me think of something. We had you here a couple of years ago, and the reason why we haven't had you back is COVID, right? I mean, how many times have we tried to get you scheduled and something else? Unfortunately, some other things came up. But I remember this was after the protest for Black Lives Matter, and you had one song. I think it was towards the end of your set that you did, and it was especially poignant. I mean, I'm recalling it right this moment. You want to talk about that one a little bit? Do you know what I'm talking about?
This was a song called "Show Me." I wrote it after the Minneapolis George Floyd incident,
Right.
and I wrote it as really just as a cry out for understanding, a bit of social history. It was a really difficult song to write. I wrote it from a different perspective. It's not that easy to listen to, but I think it sends this message of, a lot of my music really does ultimately talk about connecting human beings to our shared experiences. And whether that comes from places of pain and disassociation, ultimately at the end, I'm somebody who wants to find hope, and that kind of seeps its way into my music, even in bittersweet songs, even in this sort of rough political tune of some kind. I have another tune that I wrote around that time called "Everybody," that kind of breeds that kind of vibe also, which is, everybody. I think the song starts out, everybody's got the same needs, everybody's blood runs red when it bleeds. I mean, trying to just build community.
Yeah.
And, we can do that by shining a light on our successes and our the attributes that we like. And we can also do it by shining a light on the parts of us that are not so pretty and that we don't like about ourselves or our culture, our society. Show Me tends to shine a light on that, but then bring it towards, okay, well, what are we going to do with that? Okay, so that's real. Let's show me what I want to see. Show me the truth. Show me compassion. Show me a lack of discrimination. Show me equality. Show me hope.
But then also last night you had a song about appreciating those you love, or what was the song about? Being with somebody you love.
Might have been a song called "You Are Not Alone," which is sort of a new tune.
Yeah. I wish I could remember the lyric better, but the point is that you're, a lot of times with a singer-songwriter, it's kind of one note. All the songs have a fairly basic, they fit into a, the variety of the song material and stuff is, like this wide. Yeah. You go all, and I hope you do. I hope the music you bring in a couple of weeks has that same range, because what makes you listenable and important to listen to.
I joke. It's funny you should say that, James, because I joked with my daughter once when my kids don't really listen to my music that much, but at one point I played a couple songs for her, and she said, "They all sound the same." I said, "Yeah, that's what they said about Beethoven also." I mean, everybody's got a style, of course. That's why you recognize them. That's why you like their music, whatever that style is that you can't describe, but you can feel the thread that goes through all of the music. But yeah, I mean, I'm constantly trying to evolve and do new things, and hopefully keep people engaged with different kinds of music, but that are held together by, the common thread that, it's my stuff. And also, ultimately these things become autobiographical, even though I'm not writing about this is my life, this is me, but there are things that I need to say or want to say or think other people might be interested in hearing. So in that way, being a singer and a songwriter where you're writing the stuff and you're performing it yourself, it ultimately becomes autobiographical, but hopefully it connects to a wider common experience of a listener, right?
Well, maybe this isn't what I told you ahead of time we were going to talk about.
Never is. That's fine. That's what makes it fun.
But you brought it up. I mean, we're talking about having a songwriting workshop with you here.
Yes, it's scheduled. We just scheduled it, and it's.
Did you finally get on schedule with our education director? Sure.
It's in October.
Where do you start? With people like you got 2 hours to bring them into the topic, and they're coming with some passion, some ideas, but where do you start to teach them, to lead them?
Well, this is another funny thing. One of my English students the other day asked me about songwriting, and I said, well, do you write anything? Oh yeah, I write letters, and I write some poetry, or I write an essay for class. I said, do you ever sing in the shower? Oh yeah, everybody sings in the shower. I said, okay, well, just sing what you wrote. You just wrote a song. Okay, so where do we start? I mean, I personally start from two different places. One, there's just the music, which frequently informs a lot of times where the song goes. The vibe that I'm getting from the chord changes and the melody and how that speaks to me, changing an idea that I've got. So I think a lot of it is letting go of your expectation of what it is to write a song. Writing a song is not writing a hit for the radio. There are this many people who make money writing songs in the world.
Right.
I mean, the question is, what do you want to say? And can you let go of your own judgment of how good it is to just let it be what it is? And you have to have some, musical ability, but you don't necessarily have to play an instrument. You could find someone to accompany you with, or you could find someone to co-write with you. You've got some lyrics, you don't really have a music idea, vice versa. So, kind of breaking down what people's expectations are. Like, oh, I've got to write a song with, a really great hook in the chorus, and I need, these 2 verses, and then I need a bridge. And I think, structure is good. It does help us sometimes. But I think trying to free ourselves, what do you want to say? If you don't have anything to say, it's really hard to write anything, right? So what do you want to write about? I don't care. You want to write about your daughter? Write about your daughter. You want to write about going to the beach? Write about going to the beach. You want to write about your experience going through this period of your life? We need some structure because we don't want to listen to American Pie anymore. Don McLean already did that. But I like to just loosen people up. Let's tell a story. What is it that matters to you that you want to write about? I can't give you an idea. I can give you a theme as an exercise to practice, right? But a lot of that is just the exercise of creating, because, all of us have to do this. We have to just keep writing so that we are writers. If we're not writing, we're not writers. Yeah. And we got to keep that muscle exercise like any other muscle in our body. And so, being diligent and making it a priority. If you've got a yoga practice and you commit to doing it 4 days a week at 6 a.m. for 30 minutes, that's your discipline. Well, you've got to be disciplined also. If you want to write, you got to sit down and write. Some days nothing really positive comes out. Some days I'm out on a walk and I write a whole song just on a walk because, I don't know, my mind is free. I'm moving. I frequently create things really nicely when I'm moving. It opens me up a little bit. Mm-hmm. So I think people have to find their space, find their mode. And if you're writing songs with lyrics, you got to write.
Well, one of the things I want here at the Art Center is we shifted our mission. We expanded it to be more about a space for creative exploration.
Yeah.
So there's writers groups where people get together and they read the short stories or pieces of their novel or their poems or whatever together. But I'm really open to some sort of songwriters group where people just come together and this is what I've got so far, you know, and they play and they listen to other people and you bounce off and you get inspired and you know, well, I teach. My background is teaching acting and as a director, and one of the things that I have to constantly tell people is you know, get out of your head. You know, stop judging yourself. You know, just let it go with your intuition, go with your gut. And I'd love to have that here. That sort of just, you know, everybody sit around in a room and share what they got and sing together and play together. I mean, it's such a great environment, you know?
Yeah, two things. I mean, first of all, I did that for years at the Old Town School.
Yeah, what a great place to be.
Yeah, it was a Friday night once a month, and we would sit around with a bunch of songwriters, and whether you had something or not, you know, having that deadline of thinking, hey, you know, I've got this Friday coming up in a couple of weeks. I want to work on something. And also listening to other people, giving them feedback. I'm always of the ilk that, you know, we're not really there to judge people's work. We're there to listen to what they may need or what they may want, or, you know, it's your work. It's not my work.
Right.
You know, critiquing is tricky in that world because, you know, what are we critiquing for? Who is the audience? Or maybe there's no audience. Maybe you just like the exercise of trying to write something, which can be fine as well. The other thing, I'm happy to, you know, maybe begin hosting something with you guys. I know that the songwriting workshop I'm doing is October 20, which is a Thursday, from 6:30 till 9, I think. So people should sign up. I think it's a $30 or $40 event.
What if people just signed up to just be there, even if they didn't want to, you know, just to be there in the room and listen?
Absolutely.
It's a creative space.
Yeah, you never know what's going to inspire you and when it's going to inspire you, but being around other people creating things is certainly a great way to be inspired.
Great. And now I said we were going to go for 15 minutes. I'm probably over that already because I want to, at the end of this conversation, I recorded some of you guys playing last night. I'm going to throw that on for people so that they can hear it. But I'm just going to say that you're going to be here on Thursday, September 14th, here at the Art Center.
Wednesday,
October. You're right. Sorry, the 14th,
September 14th.
I'll put the correct information on like Chiron on the bottom of the thing. And
you're showing your age by using the word Chiron. I'm just letting you know.
Well, that's hard not to do. Right. But I'm really looking forward to it. And one of the things that I want everybody to know is that you are running this as a benefit for us, for our education program. And I got to tell you, I have a new program that just came to me. It's a great opportunity to help out some people, a new audience that we haven't been, a new population we haven't been serving well. And this just opens up a lot of possibility for it. So I'm hugely grateful, but I'm also know I'm going to enjoy the heck out of just listening to you guys play.
And I want people to know that, you know, it's up to you to make the donation that you want to make at the event. We're not charging $100 to come in and hear the show, but It is a listening room. So, you know, you'll be able to hear the music without people talking over you. And I'll talk a bit about the music and, you know, make a contribution that feels right to you to help support this institution in your town. And this specifically for the educational fund to help scholarships and funding of classes for those who need support, young people, and as James was saying, people of less privileged backgrounds are going to come into the center soon as well. So we're super psyched to be there. We'll see you there on September 14th at 7:00. Always good to talk to you, James.
I'm going to stop this, but hang on for 1 second because I'm going to talk to you off the recording, okay? But really appreciate it. It's really generous what you're doing for us, and I'm looking forward to it. So see you then.
About a nice summer evening. Summer evening, walk past the window, baby's crying. Someone's cooking dinner after all the TV. Someone's learning the violin. Oh, and